Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Maggotkin of Nurgle, and in particular the Droning Guard subfaction of the army. In this video, we're going to go through and talk about everything that makes a Droning Guard army special, its special rules and things that unlocks army-wise for us to do on the tabletop. We'll then take a look at some units we can use to begin our Droning Guard army with, before looking at other units to then expand upon after those initial purchases to help us create our first little army of the Droning Guard for the Maggotkin of Nurgle. And at the end of the video, we'll show you all of this in practice in a sample 1000 point army list for you to use as some inspiration for creating your own army. Now with that said, Droning Guard, first of all, this is a Maggotkin of Nurgle subfaction you can find inside the battle tome, so you get all the rules in there. And its special rule is you subtract 1 from hit rolls that target friendly plague drone units in the first battle round, or on the turn they are set up. So this is pretty cool. First of all, just -1 to hit on all your plague drone units, which is really nice. And then if they come in from reserves for any reason, or indeed they're summoned to the table, they will be Droning Guard ones that come on the table. So they are -1 to hit in that turn, which is pretty nice. -1 to hit, solid benefit. On top of this, you are going to get plague drones as battle lines, so suffice to say, this is a subfaction that is pushing you to try and take more plague drones in your army. And that is exactly what we're going to try and do. And so, where to begin for our army? I think the best place to start is start looking at the heroes for us, and I really like the Sloppity Bilepiper. Now, it is a little bit disappointing. There is no fly-focused hero for the demons, at least. There is certainly the Lord of Afflictions, I believe it is the Blight King hero on one of them, but he's not a demon, so it doesn't sort of fit what we want to do. The Sloppity Bilepiper, though, I really like. I think he's got a good rule on his Jolly Gut Pipes where he can put out a variety of different buffs. So he can either give out +1 a wound to all friendly demon units wholly within 14. He can give out mortal wounds ability, and he can also stop enemy units being able to pile in around as well. I think this is just a nice solid set of abilities for a model to have to really kick off starting our force. 5 wounds, 5 up save. Like I said, movement 4 is his big drawback, but he's not really going to aim to get in combat, so just being, running with this model every turn, following up behind your plague drones is probably the best way to use him. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about starting with plague drones because they are what this subfaction is all about running. 5 wounds and a 5 up save. Don't forget, everything Nurgle has that 5 up ward from Disgustingly Resilient, so they're actually quite survivable. That's a lot of meat to have to chew through. Now, they have a cool shooting attack, cool Death's Head. Now, how this works is the attack characteristic of Death's Head is equal to the number of models in the target unit up to a maximum of 7. So this means you can get generally 7 shots per model so long as you're shooting at units with 7 or more models. 3s and 3s, no rend damage 1. It's not about the rend here, it's about rolling 6s for disease. This shooting attack can pump out a decent amount of disease, if you're getting those 7 shots from each one, you should be putting 3 disease counters just from your shooting alone on an average roll onto your opponent. This can also be a pretty good thing. The Sloppity Bilepiper is nice as well, able to buff them up in combat, meaning they've got quite a decent few attacks, which is nice. 2 attacks, 3 3s, no rend damage 1, and then 6 attacks, 3 3s, no rend damage 1 coming from the mount as well. So a lot of no rend damage 1 attacks coming out of them. If you can get mortal wounds on them, even chuck them in bounty hunters, so all of a sudden they are damaged 2. It can be pretty nice if they get into the right sort of target, but once again, it's just weight of attacks here for these models, trying to get as many hits in and get as many 6s rolling so that they have them there to be able to get those disease points racking up on your opponent. Where to next, though? And another hero I think is a particularly nice inclusion is the other Nurgle Herald, the Poxbringer. This is one of the other 2. The other one doesn't really suit the army we're going for, as he mostly buffs Plague Bearers, the Spoilpox Scrivener I'm talking about. But the Poxbringer here, he is a wizard, so that brings something nice. And he also brings his Eruptive Infestation spell, which is a nice little bit of mortal wound damage. Nothing too crazy. 4 attacks in close combat, 3 3s, round 1 damage D3 is not too shabby in all honesty. But his big thing here is he's just going to bring some magic at a pretty cheap points value for Nurgle. Now, alongside him, Nurglings, I think, are a really nice and interesting unit to have inside a Nurgle demon army, or indeed any Nurgle army. I think the Nurglings are their cool hidden infestations rule where they can deploy off the table and then come on into terrain is really useful. On top of this, if you fail to kill a single Nurgling swarm, it will just heal back up to 4 wounds for that swarm at the end of the turn, which is really nice. Now, looking into other units, obviously we are playing a Nurgle Demon army, so we're going to have summoning points become available for us. So Plague Bearers and a Great Unclean One are two things I really like the looks of. First of all, Plague Bearers, they are 2 wounds each on a 6-up save. This might not seem like a lot, but that is 20 wounds your opponent has to chew through. Even 10 Plague Bearers takes a decent amount of taking down. 6-up save, potentially to a 5-up if you've got something like Mystic Shield or all-out defense on them, and then a 5-up ward after that as well. And then we have the Great Unclean One. This is your big greater demon for the Maggotkin of Nurgle. Got some really cool abilities, but most of all, he's just an absolute bestial tank. He will not die. It takes an incredible amount to take these models off the table. 18 wounds, 4-up save, and that 5-up ward there. A variety of different weapon options as well. He can help you get extra contagion points with his reverberating summons ability from the Doomsday Bell. He potentially does mortal wounds back to an enemy in melee if he suffers any hits, or potentially gives them disease points that then potentially can suffer mortal wounds from. A really nice model to bring to the army, and just something nice to have in your back pocket in case you ever get enough points to summon one. And also, you can probably take one in a larger points game. And so this is our sample army list for the Droning Guard here. We've got the grand strategy, no place for the week, hoping we can take off battle line units. Hopefully the amount of disease we can get out of them should be pretty nice. Now we've gone for the Triumph Inspired, +1 a wound is pretty nice in this army. We don't have a lot of low wound models. We then got our Poxbringer, who's going to be our general master of magic on this model, so it can re-roll that spell it wants to get off. Generally going to be a Mystic Shield, trying to get that off onto one of the Plague Drone units or something like that. And then we've also got the artifact, the Witherstay, which is really nice, meaning within 7 inches of this model, all our diseased points go off on a 5+ rather than a 6+. Now we've also got the Law of Virulence, the Stream of Corruption spell. This is a nice 7-inch range spell that just does mortal wounds out, really good at helping clear those hordes. We then have our Sloppy Bile Piper as our second leader for the force. Battle line is 3 units of 3 Plague Drones, which are all going to be in Bounty Hunters, giving them +1 damage against Galatian Veterans. We don't have any Galatian Veterans in our force, but we do have a unit of 3 Nurglings in there as well, which is really cool. This is just a nice little additional unit we can use to try and take some objectives that our opponent leaves unguarded. All in all, 980 points out of 1,000. There is a good chance we are going to get that Triumph for 20 point under. 67 wounds is right smack bang in that sort of average sort of range, and 6 drops as well. If you've been playing with a Droning Guard army at all, been using lots of Plague Drones, let us know how you've been going and what you would do down in the comments below. That's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop us a comment down below in the comments section and let us know what you enjoyed about the video and what you'd like to see more of on the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here we have at Sinful Gaming, you can do so on our Discord server, which is linked in the video's description. Also linked in the video's description is our Patreon and YouTube members, where you can go to help support the channel and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, Kenny Lauer, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giappy390. And to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, and Monty's Tabletop Terrain. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now, everyone.